Hello, 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 and welcome to Three Amigos Ink and Splatter Open Mic Poetry Night. I'm your host, Marie Moldovan, and my co-host, Alicia Hodge. She will be on shortly. She's just stepped out for a moment in time. We have an evening of wonderful poetry, spoken word. Our special guest this evening is Max Myers, and I'm really excited about that. I really love Max's poetry. Max Myers, a Sacramento, California resident for some years, was inspired to write the world of natural beauty, loving friendships, and magical and mystical spiritual relationships between all things. Max has been writing poetry and short essays for the last 60 years. A self taught poet writer, he is an artist, musician, beekeeper who has traveled around basically the United States of America. And I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever seen any of Max's artwork, but it is phenomenal. And recently, Max published a new book. It's titled Find Max Myers. You can find Max Myers' new book, Nowhere to Go But Here, on Amazon Books for $2.99 in Kindle and $3.99 in paperback. I mean, that's a good deal. I mean, you should go check it out and get yourself a copy. Max's work is phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. I just love it. He's a excellent at spoken word, and his poetry and his short stories are definitely something to check out. How are you this evening, Max?
Well, I'm good. I'm flattered. Thank you for the kind words.
Oh, well, it is the truth. I absolutely adore your writing. And I am really proud to be and honored to be your friend and get to know you.
Thank you.
So
I feel the same way, Marie.
thank you. So
So, go ahead.
I'll basically toss you the floor and let everybody enjoy your poetry, and hopefully they enjoy it as much as I do.
Okay. At any time you want me to stop, say stop. I have I copied a few pages today. This is all out of the book Nowhere to Go But Here. First poem is called It Ain't Poetry. Check this out. It ain't poetry to shout it out, scramble words that don't speak, that say nothing but what? This age of disregard, we're tripped by plastic cards, metal chips, tap to pay. It's okay, don't trip, they say. Living with disappointment, stuffing what we cannot process, wondering what is wrong in Congress seems to be what's wrong within us. But check this out. It ain't poetry to shout it out. Scramble words that don't speak. Give me something to relate, to grab a hold of, not hesitate. It's raining out, the water's deep. We'll drown if we lay down to sleep. Where's the sign of hope, not found in hands that grope? For greed, for power looking out, it ain't poetry to shout it out. Those scramble words that don't speak. Sure think we better check it out, find out what's the shouts about. I'm working in very dim light tonight, and so I'm with eye trouble and such. I may stumble a bit. Forgive me for that. This next poem is called The Road. This road, this long and meandering road, teacher of lessons my heart has felt, has brought such miracles to light, here and there, quietly or sounding, cloaked in joy or misery, taken in stride, or confoundedly baffled, still given the meanings of trust tested, those warm lessons of new friendships, some carried far into the years, held close, of loves, lovers, and lovings. Every step of the way has been grace. Fortune has marked the days. My heart's walls are covered in sweet memories, even sweeter images of those faces who have touched my soul, healed my child within to grow and learn. Forgiveness carries a great reward. In the walking stubbed toes remind this is the entirety of this life. either to embrace or squander by choice, in regrets, accounts deemed owed, while the road goes forth undaunted, with astonishment just around every bend. Um, this next poem, I tried to put myself in a position of being a tree, thinking about they don't go anywhere, but they see an awful lot. They get to experience time from a whole nother perspective than we who have legs and run about do. And so anyway, I wrote a little poem, Thought of the Tree. I've been given a comfort for around my rooted base, below my mighty boughs, there the softest blanket of moss, gently covering the ground all around, so beautiful and pleasing to sense. The forest creatures come silently to lay beneath my leaf-covered limbs. They rest and sleep on the pillowed ground. My thoughts turn to the sky above, awaiting the steady coming and going, robins to their nests feeding their young. This is my world, rich in beauty, roots deep into the mother hold fast, graced with the gentle green moss, present to every instant that passes, blessed with every breath of breeze. These are my thoughts, if I am a tree. This next poem is called Friendship. Oh, the joy of friendship. There is little to compare. Every moment precious, loving the signs of care. In a world of many challenges where struggles win some days, we turn to one another to share in many ways. There's nothing like our friendships to bring our hearts together across miles and years and often trials, surmounting any weather. If one has even one friend to count on for all time, I'd hope that friend would be you. True friends are rare, so rare to find. The next poem is called Exclusive. In this wonder of life, where one cannot fathom why we or any came to be, do we find justness in thinking that we are any better than anything else? Were not all things so graced, an ant or bacteria or a man, each given life, the same? How then to honor being alive? Dare we not consider this, that the right to exist cannot be questioned or judged one greater than another? Though we share this life together, how so then do we condemn one to live and another to die outside of the need to eat, which is the natural process? Do we say we are better, that it is lesser or therefore pass judgment as though we only have the rights, and unless it serves us well, it is of little consequence and of no importance? I am bewildered and saddened, for what doesn't love life, willing to struggle for it, each for its purpose committed, each a child of creation designed by the Absolute's will, endowed with this gift of life. The next poem is called Social Life. I have a brand new social life, of which there won't be envy. It crept up while I was distracted, one might even say protracted, but woke up to this way of life that nags as if a doting wife, with phone calls reminding me of who it is that I must see. Such visits, though they may be short, demanding that I cough or snort, or hold my breath until they say it looks like you'll live another day. We have a meal that you should swallow with directions telling me to follow. Take one when the sun comes up, take another after you sup. So Dr. A and Dr. B are now friends, like Dr. C. They all know doctors E through Z. We're one big social family. I guess I'll never be alone. They always call me on the phone. But the one thing seems that I am not getting is an invite to their homes for chicken. This next poem is called Bluebird, and it comes from a dream I had one day while napping. Um, in a nap, a bluebird hovered close above me in my bed. I raised my arm, outstretched my hand, with my finger offered and waited. In time, it drew near and took my offered hand. Slowly lowering my arm, it stepped off on my bed. I lay there, not but inches away, both looking eye to eye. It seemed to be quite satisfied with no attempt to fly. Some might say it was an omen to be visited this way. I'm just pleased and grateful too. This bluebird came my way. The next poem is called A Blind Eye. Being rests in moment. Let me start again. Being rests in movement slowly adrift. Rows and rows of moments line the shelves. Curiosity no longer consumes an idle mind, as beauty has filled my vision today. Short and sweet that one was. This next one is called Walking the Same Road. Walking the same road I have walked all my life, though in difficult weather it seems different. It may be my mind preoccupied with strife, or perhaps my focus is deep in thought is spent. But the road has remained the same, and changes to my heart have been made by the choices I am willing to claim. The best I knew, though may have been afraid. The road in the dark is still the same road, however the view seems strange. For doubt and sight change as one grows old, as the mind has a way to move and arrange. What was in the forefront may now be lagging, as priorities shift in a slowly revolving door. The tautness of opinion is loosed and sagging. Agreement is no longer in demand at my core. This road has had its seasons, its joys, and displeasure, all part of an incredible journey through time. Its beauty beyond anything that I could measure, for it's a golden heart at the end of the line. Next one is called Bedtime. In the dark of the night, when one's mind struggles to a right, from challenges of the day, slow to sleep, awake we lay, how much there is to wonder before one slips to slumber. Was there enough love for me, given as a gift for free? Did selfishness block the way from being true to you today? These questions racing through my head, each night retiring to my bed, and in the end it's thankfulness that finally puts my mind to rest. This next one is called Lost in Translation. It was an attempt to know your heart. Somehow from the start, unsure of the art, we were drifting apart and something had happened, something lost in translation. Such things happen often, it seems. Lovers fall short of their dreams, romantic schemes, struggling for the duration, something lost in translation. Word as simple as a longing glance, star-struck sweethearts might have a chance to dance, to gaze into the depths of each other's eyes, with nothing lost in translation. This next one is called A Toast. I do not write of sinister things, this world is dark enough, but write of kites and soaring clouds, of things that aren't so gruff. The beauty of a summer day, a breeze of springtime's bloom, the smell of pine trees in the woods, the opposite of gloom. The laughter of a child at play brings happiness to bear, a song that sweetly speaks of love, of one another's care. I'll not pretend that life is pure, for that would be a lie. But let us drink to all that's right. Let's raise our glasses high. And I have one more. It's called Desire. The wise one said it was desire that fueled the unquenchable fire. Having turned away from nothingness, where all was met with happiness, someone thought it would be best if we wanted things at our behest, making bling and so much more, in the pursuit of which has made us poor. We chase a dream that has no merit. We become so used to it we have to bear it. This knew this, knew that. Oh, can't we see we're killing land, the air, the sea? For what I ask, do I really need this? Will it give me, my soul, any kind of bliss? There are those who live with nothing, the ones that love to rejoice and sing. Peace comes within the heart, not from things that fall apart. I'll take a cue from the wise old one and put desire out on the run. A loving friend to share my time. True joy doesn't cost a dime. We have enough if we have each other to love through every kind of weather. I'll end with this and then I'll go. Desire is the killer of the soul. And that's it. Thank you for letting me read.
That was beautiful, Max. I really enjoyed that myself. Thank you very much. Alicia, were you able to get a hold of Charles? Because I'm not able to send him a link. He's not on my friends list. So
Yeah, he should be trying to join right now. I sent him the link.
okay. So in the meantime, I will fill in the space by reading some poetry from one of our anthologies, the Three Amigos Inc. in Splatter, The Lonely Soul in the Darkness, Volume 1, Issue 1. I'm going to read a little bit of poetry from, just one moment. Looks like Charles has joined us. Hello, Charles.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to plop you back into the backstage. One moment. Okay, so like I said, I'm just going to read a poem, actually a few poems from one of the anthologies, and the poet that I'm going to read from is Dan Madge. Okay, actually I pulled out a few of Dan's poems, and there we go. Dan, Mad Dog Madge. I can't actually hear myself. I think just going to check here. Mute. Like. Okay, so Dan Mad Dog Madge was born in 1959 in New York City. He is a two-time dropout of Naropa U, including Jack Kerouac's School of Disembodied Poetics. He spent 9 years hard time and 13 years in the system. He is now working for a minimum wage and inking his poetic lines whenever he can. First poem by Dan that I'm going to read is The Nightmares. Well, here I, so, X23XY, manifold fortuitous, grace, grievance, acceptance, nowhere nada, first gray spittle of autumn fog, fortune lost, anger, greed, reality as the medium. Accused of not having a miserable enough time and forget drivel, whatever boredom. In or out of the hole I am, ill, legal, in the golden spittle, light word across, in the golden spittle of misery, doom, insanity. Yeah. Just one second. Misery, doom, insanity. In the fourth word, spider, spittle, creeping, null, eye, blink. Acceptance, expectance. A dance of void, oh void, primal, under blanket, void, cave, tent, magma, subatomic hell, microcellular. There has to be some way out of this. Gone forthwith, a gesture, gesticular, gastacular, the drawn out, inevitable, and running down to the place where there are no choices, final moves of a chess game gone bad with or without power, no power, absolute lack of interest in power is an ultimate, implacably in enmity to those who would control, retentive respect, attentive, percolated, inventive, ditchitress, reject unsunk lens, thunk, crawl space. I would rather die than buy your lie and imply that it is true when the vegetable acceptance is valid of somehow preposterous marching game costume ranks. Penis's ability to inflict. I would rather die than live as a degenerate spirit. In a body still standing, is beyond decay, in an evil of abandonment, and in that of which I speak, I will ice and axe steel. And the next poem I'm going to read by Dan is titled Stuck, is an untitled poem, and it starts off, stuck in trans life, swelling reject, antiotic, Bonau's cares, knows the burden only she shapes, forced desire, blind despair. I'm moving trance like in the recept of the precept, impurged may squall, I focus night life. Light playing hand tricks, hard playing magics, do it of squall. Only she shapes my dying vision, only she wakes the hungry fog, only she tastes of clean salt, sweet tears. Okay. Can everybody hear me clearly? Because I think my headphones have gone out.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank
I
you.
can hear.
Nightmare number 2. Because some seem not to suffer in even the most secure and restrictive of prisons, slave labor in chains, but with an electric whip has been ordered. Refusal to suffer, refusal to piss, refusal to be an accessory to lies. Be thy battle of pernicious, the war of reality, identity, thought, and word, the task, to live in the real and in a place where hatred lies and intimidation of the basis of institutional structure, the very fabric of reality itself. The ignorant violator who plans on getting caught and wears his degeneration with pride was created by this. When one is reduced to livestock, not even being allowed the dignity of wild and uncaged animals, scraps of identity become precious. The worst lie of all is that the good and lawful are somehow served by this obscenity, which in fact places in greater danger from the things that are somewhat less than human that it creates. I'm gone in dry rain, leaf-soaked canvas cavities, and last year's envelopes, sine wave, doormat migraines, cancerous excessive levels of flatulence, Lord of the ridiculous. I'm not here you imagine I am, like on TV. I'm your worst nightmare. The thing you can't look at, gone, eerie needle. Rain syringe darts, absolute taxis, just gone, syringe. Dart, Russian roulette, the LD50 game. Let's see how easy it is to die. Can't die now because for time being, I can't be killed. Must pay, settle the bill. Not what you imagine, not as it appears, only willing to exist as is. Can't attach not to object security to relationship confining and conditional. There are better ways to spend time. Will not repent or reform. Can't apologize for my vain arrogance, my addictions, my dubious sexuality, my meaningless, lucrative crimes. Didn't shoot anyone, didn't even leave myself that option. In the graver sense, white objects covered blankets like my shot eyes from draining sleep and shattered into the enraged raw burn of new dawn at the edge of the mountains. This is the dream, this is the shadow, the only way out through the bottom. Creation is not what it seems either, just a flow of re-scrambled garbage data from the bored and medicated brain of a caged beast. And the last poem that I'll be reading from Dan Madge is Nightmare number 8. Welcome, Matt, for Mr. Suckword. The dark of prophecies, cure of infliction, cure of destruction, may know how it feels taking that commitment or death. Burning at the stake, maggot justice, cremated soul waste, arbitrary and monetary demon tooth, created legal eye for eyes, crammed, deliberate, stacked in the rush to judgment. The keeper of the keys, worship, sacrifice, torture, prison rape of young boys, and play for plays to the minority who believe and will. The promise that their craving for slow suffering and extermination can be injected into their satanic mainline of dry suck need. That they will have vengeance denied them by their creator, and minions with badges and handcuff neckties and syringes will create interim hell before death, as when his devil church of lawful sacrilege tortures children who in turn return bearing ink scar of swastika and inverted pentagram, retaliate with loud cars, electric guitars, injections, blades, and bullets pumped into the classroom from the family dear rifle, sweeping tormentors and innocents alike in the same pit. As my light Chile, El Salvador, Guatemala onto when Waco begat Oklahoma City, while street kids in Rio dodge death squad bullets bought by businessmen who, like big city mayors in America, believe that having to look at the poor ruins everyone's day. Well, we'll be waiting, Suckword. We've been there, done that. Hell is our turf. Our kind we have seen before all too many times. Come on with it, motherfucker. Today is a good day to die. And those poems were by Dan Madge. And this evening, we actually have a few poems that we'll be reading from the anthologies, as well as some poetry from other poets from our group, Three Amigos, Ink and Splatter. But before I do that, I would like to get Alicia to introduce Charles, who has kindly stepped on and will be reading his wonderful poetry this evening.
All right. Charles Edward York is an author and poet activist living in Ontario, Oregon. He's written over 1,100 poems and published 14 books of poetry. Born in Vietnam and raised a citizen in Dallas, Texas, he writes poems that include the subjects of love and relationships, nature, social justice, including police violence against African Americans and minorities, astronomy, and others. Hi, Charles. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just give the floor to you. I'm excited to hear what you have to read tonight. Last week's reading was amazing, so I know tonight's will be too.
Yeah, so I've got some new works that I've generated in the last 24 hours. I haven't actually had any proper sleep because I managed to crank out 9 poems in that span of time for my 16th book of poetry that I'm putting together. So it was a labor of love, and I'm none worse the wear for it.
Nice. Well, that's exciting. I can't wait to hear them.
Okay, well, I'm going to get the first one out, and this one's called Listing to Darkness. If the price of democracy is eternal vigilance, then we ought to fire the lookout. In an eternal sea of mendacity, our vessel is listing to darkness. We can't agree as one on a singular truth beyond the reproach of fools who rather kill facts and irrefutable evidence for fiction. Who then shall point to the lighthouse when the lantern has gone out? The masses who command the match, or the village idiot who ignites lies? Let us come together in thoughtful reason, deliberate with intent to act as one, so no fool may ascend to tyranny and tilt our vessel towards sinking. Okay, next one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read this one. This is called Aria, and this is about a friend of mine who is a singer and composer. I dedicated this poem to her. You wash away from my soul the ashes of a burned fire. Your rain showers, formed inside melodies and harmonies from fantastic, faraway, enchanting worlds, erases the diurnal dirt of mundane routines, major disasters, many tragedies, and pitiful trails of so many invisible tears. From what sensual magic do you conjure up and inspire these delectable songs? Wind and spirit, rhythmic palpitations, adding vivacity inside my lackluster heart. You, with your orchestra, your voice of soothing, yet mesmerizing vibrato. I am frozen in time, your enthusiastic audience of one. How your incomparable aria saturates my senses in an array of music, so rare in sound, so common in relation. I find a new country. In your fascinating world, your atmosphere lifts my tired gravity, so much so my lips are set free. An urge to sing praises, bedazzling my eyes and ears by your breathtaking beauty. Okay, and so that. Okay, I'm just going to read 3. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
right.
fine. However many you want to read.
Oh, okay. Well,
About 15 minutes of time, so you've still got time.
Oh, I got time. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. All right, I'll see if I can get through 4 or 5 then. Let's see. This is number 3. The sun loves you. And from this moment I know the sun loves you with its presence. Golden shades of cinnamon, mocha, and warm cream, not simply suggested, manifested. Echoes and ripples of so many stars in your face, breasts, and slender legs of spicy tan. Okay, hold on a second. The sun really loves you totally, as if desire and dreams birthed you. From dark original magic vines over a red flower, so much mystery and delicious discovery. A vibrant pulse, your heart on fire, between your thighs of sculpted sensuous earth. Your heart-shaped apple ways, 2 loaves of swelling baking bread rise over ever so softly beneath my gentle hands, greeting my daring desire. We move in rhythm, waxing and waning moons, moaning primal music as if destined as one unbridled release. Okay. Next one I have, this is the 4th one, talking eyes. You speak to me with your eyes and smile, as if the distance of miles suddenly are made insignificant, and the things your lips so want to say out loud can only be pronounced in a kiss. You touch my heart with sweet kindness, as if all the living beings spinning on celestial worlds. You make me relevant. Never in my dreams could I imagine beauty can exist in one so alluring as you. You choose me without saying a word, as if destiny already written pointed me in your direction. And I knew the answer. It's you, and will always be the hand that fits mine. No other love I know, save heaven shapes like you. Okay, and lastly we have. Okay, oops. One. Okay, the final one. This is called Past My Bedtime. In the crevices of hidden shadows, I write out loud unseen verse, way past my bedtime. Around the witching hour, where potions of poetry, magical metaphors, and stewing similes mingle and mesh into expressions I can scarcely believe, find feeling, and various thoughts, affections unknown to light, sometimes graceful, often stumbling out of the dark, raising their mysterious face to pronounce their original magic. Through such silent encounters, I tap into terrestrial existence, way past the wee hours, morning revelations, close and intimate, innermost beings, letters into words, sounds becoming force, moving through space, echoes and ripples of star-forming generations that twist and turn inexplicably until prose is born into something that makes sense out of pure nonsense, meaning where there was none. And that's it.
That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Those were all
Thank you.
great. Really beautiful descriptive writing. Loved it.
Yeah, that's what I'm known for.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm looking forward to what's going to be on next.
Well, that's fantastic. And if you wouldn't mind, could you probably shoot me a friend request on Facebook? So if you ever pop up on again, I could send you a link easily.
Yeah, what was your name again?
Marie Moldovan. I think we might even be friends, but I couldn't find you on my list, so I had to get Alicia to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will look you up as soon as we're done.
Perfect. Thanks. Alicia, do you want to maybe read from some of the selections that you have?
I actually have some poems from Michael Falls to read tonight.
Perfect. Then I don't have to read from Michael as well. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Michael Falls. Michael has been writing for as long as he can remember. For him, ideas have run rampant in his wandering mind. He began paying attention to his mind's ponderings and penning them 4 years ago at the tail end of his marriage. He uses writing as a stress release and notes that his mind's ponderings continue to run unchecked. Being that he is 57, he doubts that the status of the unchecked ponderings will change anytime soon. And the first one I have from him is called Cinnamon Sun. See the cinnamon sun as it's losing its glow, another day done, but it passes slow. No warmth to the day, colder to come, blind to the beauty and colors that run. Sunsets alive, or so it would seem, this beautiful visage so lost on me. Under cinnamon sun and colors that bleed, or is it my eyes that don't let me see? It's over and done, now disappeared. It's dark and it's cold, just as I feared. Into the fold the void is embraced, a cinnamon sun, a memory to waste. And the next one is called Ferocious Flames. A ferocious fire consumes my soul, charred remains can't be consoled. Ashes to ashes, here I go, burning so long it's out of control. Just one of the damned, the forgotten few, lost in a land, distorted askew. Now it leans to the right, tilts to the left, starless the night and it seems to forget. Ferocious flames, now you can bet, scars my name and leaves me regret. Follow the road one way down, even more lost when joining the crowd. Illusion is there, but justice repealed, still just as lost, the more that's revealed. The next one is called Take Me Down. Take me down to the river, it's there I want to jump in. I'd like to come out cleaner, find myself without sin. Maybe the thought is contentious, drably dressed, gray and white. I could care the consensus, but don't think I'm waiting all night. So the Halloween freaks gotta wander, see 'em all out door to door. Take me down to the river, come away with all that and more. So you'll think to haunt down by the river, think twice the water is cold. Think you got a bull in the heather, careful 'cause the stairway's not gold. Who do you think you are now, dictating what can be seen? Helping while the rest get by now. Don't say it's fucking red, I see it's green. And the next one is called Playing for Now. Gotta drop the ball, watch the mighty fall. Who do you play for now? Do you know it all? You make us sick, you're so counterfeit, and we feel the hit, but we get on with it, 'cause we're not like you, we don't roll in shit. Who are you playing for? Do you know any more? We're better than you, and we see you hide what it means, going door to door, not sure what it's for. We're better than you and your greed. Over the top obscene, selfish and evil beings, you'll stop when we stop you, and we wait in the wings. And this next one is called How Soon the Leaves. Colors change so beautiful, like a night of northern lights. Could it be more meaningful than the leaves that died tonight? How soon the leaves, will you bring them back to me? My eyes need a sense of life. How soon the leaves, the beautiful chaos, I need to get it right. Take my hand, can you stand the cold? Cold hands mean warm hearts, I'm told. How soon the leaves gonna bring me the spring? We live and we die, it's in everything. Not many more mistakes I can make, sick and tired of aftertastes. How soon the leaves gonna bring me to life? Hard to survive on the afterbite. And this last one is called The Dead Things. And the dead things wash ashore in the twilight of forgotten dreams. You know we hoped for more, but some things are not meant to be. You knew I wasn't one to tend the garden of your soul. You knew my race was run, leaving me here became the goal. But I thought there might be life somewhere after death. It struck me in the night, taking my last breath. The dead things gotta rot, wash up on the beach. Before there can be more, the feeling is besieged. Die before we live, down we go in flames. Dead things gotta die, faces and the names. So where now do we run? This poison swimming pool. You wanted more of me, I expected more of you. And those were fantastic, Michael, and I really enjoyed reading them. Thank you. And that is all I have at the moment. I'll toss it back to you, Marie.
Perfect. Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful. And I just want to say that Michael is currently in the hospital, so I send lots of prayers out to him and wish him a speedy recovery. I think he'll be out in a few days, and it was a pretty close one. So I wish you well, Michael. Okay,
Yes,
so the next poet I'm going to read is Made Corbick. Made is from Tulisa. He is 21 years old, and in his spare time, he writes poetry that is repeatedly praised and rewarded. He also selflessly helps others around him, and he is a moderator for the World Literature Forum. He is the editor of the first virtual art poetry led by Deja Ulrich Stabnuk, and the selector of competitions at a page of the same name. Many of his works have been published in anthologies and journals in Chile, Spain, Ecuador, Bosnia, San Salvador, United Kingdom, Indonesia, India, Croatia, Serbia, etc., as well as printed copies of anthologies. So I just lost my page. Oh, actually, it's looked very easy. The poem that I'm going to read is called Broken Breaks of Emotion. If love can no longer live because we still hope for new things, because they always have to disappoint us, just when it concerns us the most, love, she gives us a description of life, which always gives us the knowledge of one, and that is that love must live. Through the emotions faded, body language and soul attitude still stand clear in front of the mirror. We are still looking for destiny. Some things we cannot change until similar things happen to us. Broken. We are the breakers of our dreams. In terms of life, we are still a mockery of shame. hoping to stay the same. Pad slowly into the water, emotions will still become just dust. The images remain of a sad character in the soul of the wicked, waiting for their place in time to visit the Creator once again. The reality has never been clearer. We are described in beauty below, and our times are still standing so fragile and low. Our emotions are shattered, became when love died, and all of the attention moves as always we did. We sleep on tenderness, breakers our broken hearts. I can't be alive again. When on pain the threshold of tolerance we pass till consciously. If time is a natal chart, we give a part of ourselves to someone who does not respect us, even as per mile, even as per mil. And we do everything for someone, nonsense. That's a beautiful piece made. I really appreciated you submitting it to us, and I look forward to you submitting more to our anthologies in the future. So the next poet I'm going to read from is Stuart Dan. Just give me a second. Okay. Stuart is a 56-year-old poet from southwest England. Most of the sadness within his words are all but true accounts. He hopes that his work is relatable and can help another free their locked up emotions. He feels that if he can help another release their pent up emotions with expression, then his role as a poet is successful. The poem that I'm going to read from Stuart this evening is actually a response to one of our poetry scramble prompts on Three Amigos Ink and Splatter. It's titled The Party. Another plain day, usual routine, up early in the morning and out for my jog. I came across a friend in his overalls before work walking Hunter, his dog. Once back home, I heard the postman coming up my front yard ramp. He posted me a letter card with a kingfisher picture on the stamp. You have accordingly been invited to a fancy dress birthday party for Jack. It's okay if you wish to stay over so you do not have to rush back. I have recently been very down and low. Often in my life, I do have a blip, deciding that it may make me feel better, being under the weather like a sunken ship. I put my pirate captain costume on, headed there in my old Orion car, being a really dark night out. I hit a bust, so did not get far. Party food and drinks displayed, a caramel apple birthday cake. I met a girl named Pearl in a fine red dress, so beautiful she did look and made my body shake. With slender legs and sparkling red shoes, her dress tightened with black, knotty laces. Wearing a hook and loop diamond necklace, as I dance with her, my heart races. Being looked upon by other gentlemen, Pearl really seemed to be adored. However, at the party, I am the lucky one, much to all their discord. Thank you very much, Stuart, for responding to the prompt. I really like that one. Thank you. And so I will read some poetry from another poet. He's also an admin in our group, Michael Lacey. The first poem that I'm going to read of Michael's is actually from the one of the anthologies that is out, the Three Amigos, Ink and Splatter, Lonely Soul in the Darkness, Volume 1, Issue 2. I'm going to read one poem from there of his, and then a couple that he submitted to me to read this evening. So, Michael Lacey is 40 years young. He's 40 years young, hailing from the crossroads of good, bad, and evil, and he has 5 beautiful children that he claims to save his face and be his saving grace. His children are his loves and own his heart. First poem I'm going to read of Michael's is At Your Disclosure. This motor is cycling, my dome is lightning, in a bottle full of flames, ashes rising, the phoenix from your spiraled staircase I'm gazing, always higher, ghost writer on the loose leaf pages, written within the blotted ink. Thoughtless brain with a ridiculous wink, while you enjoy my pain, ignore my hate with ignorance so bliss. It could show you your fate. Enjoy my pain. This is a glory flame, writing us out of fame to black, high fade to white and back, because we see shades of pace, and what I see is a human race. So this lesson is over. It's not left open for disclosure. It's not left open for closure. So you racist fucks, read this and fuck off at your disclosure. And give me a moment to grab the other ones. Okay. The next one I have of Michael's is Untitled. I was her moon. She gracefully danced on a gentle tiptoe across my disgusting edge, but she could barely grasp my surface, and I was her gravity. So our separation felt like we did it on purpose, but the world is set on its ways. That mouthful of thorns we call our last kisses still lingers long after the others. But it's not missed. I can tell I'm about to assault the alphabet in this. Just breathe in the fumes because it's going to be exhaustive, and breathe out something worth more than less. I keep growing further and farther apart, but not you, not from me, from my other self. Because I'm a college dropout of emotions, and the things we do from 9 to 5 can be the same, but every different. When my head shifts, it's messy and I'm blind. It's quadruple tasking with whispers. People, me and you, because I would never cut myself in two. Unless my mind was off and I thought it would help. So tell me, what's so selfish about that? Because my wrists sing a bloody tune. Don't tell me you can write a song out of these wounds. So I checked into the asylum and began this writing. And if I don't lay this thought process across faces to lift, it begins to feel like I'm going to lose my shit. 9 months into the pen, and I'm never good enough. For me, when learning this by my own heartstrings, it's completely ripping me apart. It's turning me in on myself. Just look at the scars. It's moving security in and blowing insecurities to Mars. With the obscure sorrows I keep closing off, drug-free mind cannot be held back. So imagine if I was sober for the other 20 years, because absentia L-dopa means syndrome detonin. Metalinguistical, I guess, when I am filled with language of the unimagined to describe paradoxical hapstances that haven't been happened yet. An itch to scratch before you knew it was coming around to tickle. I wish I could speak to you like I do myself. I don't think you could handle that many conversations at once while I'm building cryptic bridges with hand-picked Latinist pig noises. You're taking for granted and comparing me to you like I don't have voices in my fucking head, and I promise I'm not making excuses. If so, then it's for what? I will own the piece of trash I was and forever has been, but I'm not playing anything now. It is with words in a circular curve of coasted motion. When you don't keep up, it's leaving me lonely. And so I guess it's another cold wind blows like every poem we write. So I face it and duct tape my eyes open and pretend to fly to see if it still takes my breath away. But really I want to know if I still cry, because there's something wrong with me. When unknown hands start to push the brink of up next to me, you see me struggle. But you miss adaptation. So who's delusional? Do I have your permission to be imperfect now because I'm immersed back into this cloud's bottomless pit of head downs and muttered hows, picking up my sword like I've done this 1,000 times? Because while you sleep tonight, I've got a few monsters to fight. There's a reason I look tired right now, and I don't always smile, but I'm moving towards content, and I sure don't need your mouth. So just let me battle myself in a temporary now, because it's a living hell. So I try to sneak out, and it's getting better the more I prevail. This is a somber set I sail. It's a vision we can all feel. We fight with ourselves. And let's see. I think there's 2 more I'm going to read of Michael's. The next one I believe is titled Irony. When irony is the language we speak in life, I find no truer devotion than pondering death. Growing up trying to use lingo in a confused street fight. Mama told us Santa Claus was real life when she wasn't, so when I questioned something unbelievable, when I questioned something unbelievable, You questioned my judgment, and just like, oh, God bless America, we still kill each other in the streets. I've always felt this. Couldn't put myself into words when life feels like a road to nowhere, and yet I still am trying to go there. They make us think there's a tooth fairy and give us atomic bombs to play with, and when it feels like my first rocket ship killed a man on the moon, I guess it was growing up that took care of the rest. I'm sticking with two poles magic to my last hat when it's a few and far between, but no more fucking madness. When I haven't always been determined but still feel destined to love. That is rare, so grab it away from anger, dump it onto the fear piece, face it, for a memory so sweet, relish them, and what you allow is what I will continue to become. So if you feel lost in a situation mishandled, start speaking in a language that we all speak to remember that broken people are never fragile. Now, I apologize for that. I actually lost my place in the middle. The screen disappeared, so there was a momentary break. And I have one more poem. I just have to grab it. Excuse me a moment. And be entertained by the sound of my dogs in the background. Yes, they have to be heard too. Okay. So the final poem that I'm going to read of Mr. Lacey's this evening is... just a few minutes. It's actually entitled, This Life Gets Expensive, So We Take a Free Trip Around the Sun, Chasing Dreams of Speed Reaching 66 miles per what the fuck, but I'm tired of a taco truck, so I'm calling it out and asking why are they going through now, because we're all trying to overcome, so you're wearing Nikes and just can't do it. But I noticed your broomstick parked below my shoe print. Do you really think that I am stupid? Don't answer that with a loaded baked potato over some blueprints when burning midnight oil with two hands on both ends. You spend half of one moment's passerby and 6 dozen donuts of another time spent in Hell's Kitchen. Because who's going to let you stop me from coming in dead last when I came to saw, so I went out to look, and I made it all feel awkward. With a pat on the back and a high five to the face with an ice pick and a leaky can of mace. Because I'm learning so much from my mistakes. I think I'll keep on making them in the day, but mostly at night when my mind is a little more open to play. Thank you very much, Michael. I actually truly enjoy your poetry, and I hope you keep writing. Poetry, I feel, is an expression of one's soul, and it assists a lot of people with being able to process emotions and work through big issues as well. I feel that it is a bridge, and it gaps many, many different generations, and provides. I think it's very healing. So if you have the courage to write, bare your soul. I know most poets kind of feel like they're standing naked with their heart on their sleeve and their entire soul bared to the world, but that's what we do. Now, I will read a few poems of my own. The first one that I'm going to read of mine is titled Step Aside, Gatekeeper. So this is Step Aside, Gatekeeper by myself, Marie Moldovan. Are you sure, my queen, that you want to leave your throne, enter the prison of your mother's womb, raise your familial ghosts from their tomb, absorb their burdens, make it your blood, risk drowning in the waters of their emotional flood, and incarnate as a fragile flesh and bone? Are you sure that it's truly what you want, my queen? You are still wrapped in many layers of confusion, discombobulated illusion. Your family will deny that which you speak to the point you begin to think you do not know that which you know, and they will poison you with the venom of condition, wrap you in a web of perdition, place upon you a veil of its mink, and confine you to a future outlook that is bleak. They will attempt to bring you to their level, break you, to release your inner devil, pierce your armored metal with them. You will settle and remain in the tortured temple. They will attempt to take you out by your knees and split your psyche in 6 degrees, cause your pain. Just a moment, the screen moved. They will attempt to take you out by your knees and split your psyche in 6 degrees and cause your pain so monstrous that your soul will twist in relentless, disastrous chaos and disregard and disdain your mercy pleas as they do what they please. You will engage in internal battle, cast upon yourself a dark night of your soul where you yourself be neither friend nor foe. but instead consume yourself as if you are a jackal devouring a herd of cattle. Are you sure you want to enter the prison of your mother's womb and live within the confines of your mother's ancestral house, where you'll be sold as a slave to a man addressed as spouse, and be considered to have value less than that of a mouse? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this and risk losing yourself? Having heard enough of that gatekeeper's incessant rant, the queen rose up from her throne, walked up to the mirror, confidently adjusted its unappealing slant as if she had nothing to fear, glanced her reflection dead in the eye, and spoke in the tone to the gatekeeper could not deny. Set aside, gatekeeper. You are merely my own reflection playing and recording from the fear collection meant to cause anxiety and distraction and keep me in my place. My mother's prism is no different than the mind prism I currently face. I cannot avoid that which made me. I cannot avoid being like she, for she is within me as me, and so is everything in the projected I see. There is no one to fear but me, for I am the only monster that can annihilate that which I be. To truly heal my spirit, I must allow myself to see the wound of my fragile bone under the roof of my ancestral home, so I may within myself alter its tortured tone from one of a fleeing to one of a freeing lyric. I do not risk losing myself to save myself. If I do not risk to lose myself to save myself, then I have already lost myself. Now step aside, gatekeeper, and let me cross the gate before it is too late. Let me cross the gate before self-annihilation be my fate. And if you give me a moment, I'll read a couple more. Okay, so the next poem is titled Jekyll Jacket Child by myself, Marie Moldovan. Laying on a couch located in an office at the end of the hall, twiddling my sweaty thumbs in a state of agitation, I attempt to put out the flames of my wildfire imagination by focusing on the ticking tines of the clock strung on the wall. Drawing a profound breath in, I tug my awareness within, focusing on the expansion of my chest as I pull the atmosphere in, deep into the chambers of my lungs, and hold it for an era before I push the ocean of emotion out, releasing it without sin. I calmly breathe in and out as the therapist asks me a loaded question. When did you stop writing? Ugh, of course. You'd inquire that, I said, swiveling my head to the left so he could hear my answer clearly. I stopped when the strung-out white rabbit appeared next to the drink that knocked me out of my senses and took down my Jekyll Jacket child defenses. So Poseidon could savagely have me as he desired. Instantaneously, my therapist's gaze changed position, as if his face depicted a minor crack in his statuesque facade, and he released a perplexed gasp as he noticed that was noticeably odd. Deducing I'd had enough of methodical conversation, I ran my fingers through my seemingly hissing coils and calmed my heart before it began rolling in boils. Reaching into my pocket, I pulled out my mask of perfection, coated it with the latest glamour protection, masterfully placed it upon my face to hide my true reflection before announcing that I'd reached my buoyancy level, and I'd better leave before the conversation unearthed the devil. Raising a single digit as if to say, hold on just a minute, my therapist handed me a pen and a journal and told me to use my penmanship to uncoil my turmoil, and suggested I take the time to mark ink in it, even if it was in the form of scribble during a fit. With a sigh, I reached out and took the gift. In acceptance, I unfailingly agreed to submit to the dreadful task of releasing chaotic emotions in the form of poetic submissions, and knew that this would result in me digging up in upheaval my inner jackal child and inevitably raising my inner devil. Okay, and where is sorry. So give me 1 moment. I will find the last poem that of mine that I wish to read this evening. Alicia, do you think you're going to read that poem that you most recently wrote for us this evening?
Yeah, I had thought about reading a few.
Okay. Which one's
Do you want? I can read the first one now if you want while you're looking for.
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Okay. All right. This is called Love and War. What am I doing here? I ponder and think of my brother angel in heaven as I wander the dark, cold abyss of hell once more. The light is so bright. I couldn't hang like him. This darkness has always been home. What's in store? I don't know anymore. My godometer busted through, inner voice muffled out by the white noise, killing my poise, leaving me with a choice. Use your true voice, or forever be what they say. I am nothing less, nothing more than a mirror of this danger. I should feel anger, but I'm calm, talking to a stranger in the darkness who I've known all along. Am I wrong for caring, for sharing? My inner voice repairing says, there are two sides to every coin, and I wander into the middle, not wanting to choose a side to join. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. Next is Untitled. I've been riding the wings of pestilence again, looking for a friend for this apocalyptic wheel spin of chance, someone with who I can dance. Energetically, I know you can't dance. I mean like we're in a trance and there's no resistance in the advance, because when you know, you don't question, you hustle and you flow. You don't stop when I say go. You don't hesitate, you feel it in your soul. But you still act like I'm stuck in this fishbowl. Truth is, I'm not what you think, and this is already getting old. These mind games have me on the brink, as you expect me to eat every word I'm told, like a shiny hook you dangle above me. Maybe it's not too late, at least you never said you loved me. And I have two more, so I'll just go ahead and finish those up real quick. This one also is untitled. I'm a bitch out of water. My Pisces fish turned to sharks. I'm kind of different in the dark. This is a demolition of my heart, so I can be reborn to play my newest part. Sprouting wings, and I know the eagle flies solo. I've been a wallflower, scared of my own power, an orchid ready to devour anyone near me. Leave me alone. I'll only drain your soul. Ring the bell, please. Get me out of my hell. I've seen enough. When the white owl flew before me in front of the orange trees, I said, I accept, and you proved no one could ever adore me. But that's okay. I'm done playing possum. I am done hiding my awesome and my gruesome, going to show you some things you've never seen me be, now that my head is out of these red clouds and I can clearly see. I'm not all strawberries and whipped cream, nor did I ever claim to be. You're the one who wanted sweet. I am an outcast. I am a trap. I am a fish. I am a cat. I am everything. I am nothing. I am a dreamer. I am the dream. The last one is also untitled. Here we go again. I must pretend. Act like nothing ever happened as you push me back to the deep end. Why'd you creep in? Did you get your peep in? Done now after a leap in, quick swim, then dip. I know you're waiting for me to flip. But I'm too used to it, tired of it, over it. Close friend my ass. Next time at least come to the table with some authenticity in class. And that's all I've got for tonight.
Sounds good. Just give me 1 moment. I'm going to actually read a couple more. I know I said just one more, but I kind of lied. Okay. Just gonna get them here. Okay. So the first one that I'm going to read is titled Jane Doe. And once again, this is one of my poems, a poem by Marie Moldovan, myself. Shooting up in a sitting position, heart beating out of commission, I scrambled to determine the whys of my location and the W's of my location and the whys of my current situation. Feeling a sudden burning sensation, I twist my collar in condemnation and discover a cursed Jane Doe designation. Grasping for air, shock resounded in a black powder upon Blair, peppering me with the starting visualization of my tiger's DOA identification. No, this can't be. I ain't a deer, I said, springing forth and upset over Willa being dead. Tears rolled down my rosy cheeks and salted their Jericho peaks. Unable to accept Willa's death label, I jumped off the cold steel morgue table, scrambled to remove the blasphemous spell of a witch before it could brand me in reality with its demise stitch. Pissed, I set to give the inscription hag a taste of her own medicine. Opening desk fridge, I unzipped a bag set for cremation and threw Miss Label in. Certain the correction determined resurrection, I released my tiger and sent Willa into the jungle to live. Now, this poem actually basically talks about, at one point in time, I used to be a soldier in the military, but I experienced what I would call a spiritual death. I think I've pretty much died many times in my lifetime. I've had near-death experiences and so on and so forth. And so this is kind of like represents the point in your life where, you die almost, and you could give up and just let go or fight and continue on. The next poem that I'm going to read is titled Army Bling. For you, I was just another toy to be collected, manipulated, inflicted by a spoiled little boy, misunderstanding the true concept of joy, strung on your arm and paraded as your newest prized possession, meant to arouse jealousy in a state of perfection. You saw me not as a gal with a beating heart or even a priceless piece of art, but as an army surplus trinket you could toss in a cart. For you, I will be nothing more than a toy soldier, an action figure, your newest obsession, the momentary treasured piece in your military collection. Destined to be put aside, left outside, mentally lost in the sandbox, only to be sought and brought inside dressed in green pajamas and given a little cleanse, possibly some meds, when you needed something to parade for public attention, to demonstrate your newest destructive creation, to project and set retention. It was only a matter of concern when you wanted to turn the heads of friends with loaded pockets, potential contract dockets in your direction. You used me, abused me, strung me up like a puppet, served me up to Papa John in the name of Uncle Sam to pad your budget, earn your chest candy and a couple of gold nuggets. You would dish me my 411, send me in a Calvaclad and mission facade. Condition subsequent to unclassified, damned me, your G.I. Jane with bang stick in hand, contractually blooded locked in game of pretend, where I dare not offend the spoiled big wig boy, as he displays me as his token toy, with the rest of his jacked up paraphernalia, military memorabilia, shined up G.I. Jane displayed as a thing, a piece of army bling. And that's it for the evening. I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. Max and Charles, I really, truly enjoyed your spoken word. You are amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
And I want to thank everybody who submitted to the anthologies. Once again, some of the poetry that was read this evening. I might have butchered a few of your poems, so please forgive me. But some of the poems were from the Volume 1, Issue 1 and Volume 1, Issue 2 of the Three Amigos, Ink and Splatter, as well as some submissions that were given to us from our poetry group, Three Amigos, Ink and Splatter, and some of the poems that we have on there. I want to thank everybody who tuned in this evening, and we hope to. I think we're gonna do this on Fridays for the next little while because I'm kind of juggling things and trying to make sure that this keeps going. So please forgive me, and we hope you join us next Friday. I think it is next Friday as well. Have a good evening. Till then, bye. Take care. God bless, and love you all.
Bye. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you, everyone.
Good night. Good night. Love you. Bye bye.
Love you all.